Checking in with you. Hello, hello, hello. Do a quick mic check. Check, 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 check. Add some EQ. Add on the top there. A little bit of mid-range. Mid, mid, mid. Hello, mid. Whoa. That's a bit too much mid, don't you think? Way too much mid. And a little bass as well. A little more treble. There we go. Right, yes. If you hadn't already guessed, a brand new microphone in the studio, which I'm very, very excited about. Hello there. Hope you had a good weekend. We're going to get into an excellent show. It'll be a really, really good one. All about 6 different ways to create a radio jingle. How are you doing in the chat, by the way? I've got good news all round. It looks like, as far as I am aware, all internet issues have been resolved. So we should have a good solid live stream today, which will be something I'll look forward to, something we didn't have last week, internet teething problems at the MRC studios. So Anthony Hall's here, good day everyone, Michael Duffy as well, we've got David Silk, we've got Pete as well, nice to see you, tagging away there in the YouTube live chat. Ziga, nice to see you, David Hunter's in as well, great to have you in early. Rovigo55, we've got... Who else? Joe Salmi, of course. Joe, welcome along. Peter Young as well. The Gaming Unlimited in. It's nice to have so many early arrivals today. Makes me very, very excited. Paul Anthony, and I just wanted to let you know, as there is a new microphone in the MRC studio, I'd like you to have a little contest amongst yourselves during the show. Have a guess at what my new vocal microphone is in the MRC studio. The first person to correctly guess the brand new microphone that I'm using for this stream, and from now on, will win a freebie from MRC. We'll dig out, last week we did the countdown radio jingles, so I'll dig out the countdown with my voice, all numbers 1 to 100, produced 3 different times. That's 400 different cuts for the first person to guess what my new microphone is. I really like it, by the way. It's not as poppy as the last one. Thank you, David. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. Active on the community, welcoming in new folk. That's really good. Anthony Hall. Wow. Boom. You're on it straight away. No chances to have any other guesses. Anthony Hall was there straight away with the correct microphone, and Peter in second place. Yes, well done. It is the legendary TLM 103.
Testing the left speaker, left. Testing the right speaker, right. Testing phaser. Full frequency sweep. Now, stand by
for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell.
MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live
With Mike Russell.
Starting in 30 seconds.
Hello, it is Music Radio Creative Live, and I am Mike Russell. It's fantastic to be here with a brand new live stream for a brand new week. Hope you're feeling good this week. There's loads to get into on the show, by the way, today, including six different methods to produce a radio jingle. So it's going to be really exciting. And if you never join in before the show, I know some places it goes live on the hour, like, for instance, Facebook Live. This just goes live straight away at the top of the hour. But places like YouTube, we're there. And I was having a little guessing game. And of course, you're very, very good. Many people who watch this show live, and obviously you listening to the podcast as well on demand, have really good ears for telling audio. And I just had a pre-show kind of competition asking if anybody could guess the new microphone here in the Music Radio Creative Live studio. And Anthony Hall was the first person to get it correct. Yes, you can even see it appearing there. It is the wonderful, beautiful, nickel-coloured Neumann TLM 103. And I think it was Peter that said, really pleased for you. Anthony said it's my dream microphone. And I think, yeah, just let me turn it around for you so you can have a look. Oh, there we go. That's it. That is the logo that you pay a lot of money for, Neumann there. Made in Germany. Expert engineering, and really happy to have Neumann. What I was hoping to do is a mic shootout. I don't know if you'd find it handy. Just going to move that camera up a bit. That's better. If you would find it handy, let me know in the comments. But I'm thinking of doing a mic shootout between this, the Neumann TLM 103, the Audio-Technica 804033, which is the one I had before, and the podcaster's dream microphone, the Heil PR40. I actually did a shootout over the weekend when this Neumann arrived, and well, first of all, it's in a different league. It's way up there. It's right up at the top. Certainly for voiceover, for radio imaging, which we're going to do a bit of today in the show. Neumann TLM 103 is where it's at, and I just wanted to put my mind at rest as we were talking about getting a sort of better quality microphone for the studio. Went into some of the voiceover Facebook groups that I'm a member of, and I just typed TLM 103, and there were like hundreds of threads. One thing I wanted to ask you, though, is your microphone. Have you got a microphone where you are? Do you have a pop shield, or do you have it naked, unprotected? How do you prefer to have your microphone? I'm kind of thinking, with my old Audio-Technica, I always had a pop shield. It was always massive, and it was like in front of me like that, and it covers my screen. And I thought, no, with the Neumann, I'm going to try it without a pop shield. It's actually not very poppy. Look, pop, 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 pop. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. And even if I get close like this, hang on, let me turn it down a bit, so a nice and close microphone here. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. It's a little more poppy, but it's nowhere near as poppy as my 804033 was, and very clear and crisp. I really like it. So interested in your opinions. Now, I know the Neumann TLM 103 is not one of the cheapest microphones around, and for podcasting, it's probably not the first choice, but if you've got a decently sound treated room, even better soundproofed room, Neumann TLM 103 is really where it's at. It's definitely the best seller for Neumann as well. So, I will be producing a video showing the unboxing of this microphone. I'll put it out on the channel probably when I'm away. That's another announcement to make for you, by the way. I am away later this week, so we've got today's show, Monday, and then we've got Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm going to be covering how to make football radio jingles for football radio stations, and then on Wednesday, creating shout-out jingles. Sorry, I think I just popped my mic. Maybe it's an argument to have a pop filter then. Somebody also told me recently that a pop filter is not really there to stop the pops. It should actually be called a spit and splatter filter because it stops all your spittle getting into the element of the microphone and corroding it because your saliva is rather acidic. So call it what it is, a spit filter. Maybe I should have one, certainly for the TLM 103. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing a show on Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday this week, I will not be here. I'm going to be away in Manchester, England, for a stag do, the stag do of my brother. And then on Tuesday next week, please think of me because I'm having 2 wisdom teeth taken out. Never had it done before. So I'm going to be off for the rest of that week. So therefore, my next show after these 3 this week will be on Monday, the 18th of September. So make sure you get that in your diary. Please come back. Don't disappear. How to make Ibiza Deep House Jingles. So it'll be a good one to schedule in. And all you need to do is go to youtube.com/musicradiocreative and make sure first and foremost you hit the subscribe button on the channel so you never miss anything. Click the bell as well, and then hit set reminder on that Monday the 18th of September show so that we can reconnect with each other and don't lose out on any of that. Now, a load of you I know have loads to say, lots coming in on the chat, and I'm going to get to that in about 10 minutes. But first and foremost, I thought I would get right into the action and get started with 6 different ways to make a radio jingle. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go over to Adobe Audition right here, and I'm going to tell you up front the 6 different ways you can make a radio jingle. And these are the 6 common different ways that we produce radio jingles here at Music Radio Creative. First and foremost, you have the voice-only jingle. So that's voice-only, no sound effects, no music, no vocal effects, nothing like that. It's just raw voice. But a common misconception is we just get sent the cut from a voice artist and then we just kind of mail it to you or electronically mail it to you. That's not true. We put a few filters on, and I'll show you how that's done in just a moment. Then after voice only, you can have vocal effects only, which is where you're kind of taking the dry voice, but you're adding some rather clever vocal effects to it. Then the level up is voice and sound effects. So the voiceover with just sound effects, but no vocal effects. Then voice, sound effects and music. That's another way to do it. Music only. And finally, something we get a lot of requests for DJs at least, BPM style jingles. So I want the voice cut to meet and match a certain beats per minute. It's something we get asked to do a heck of a lot. So we're going to investigate how that all works, which is really, really exciting. And we have some shorthand ways of describing them. For instance, here at MRC, when we do jingles internally, we'll say to a producer, that's a V jingle, which means it's a... we say that's a D jingle, which is dry, voice only, do nothing but process the voice. V jingle is vocal effects. VS jingle is vocal effects and sound effects. VSM is vocal effects, sound effects, and music. VM, vocal effects and music. The list goes on. There are many combinations. But yes, enough with the jargon, and let's get straight into it, shall we? So I've got some stuff here from Duke, I believe, and Chelsea. So let's have a look at what we have from Chelsea first and foremost. Probably I'm going to hop over to the multi-track, select my MRC preset template, and we'll call this Radio Jingle Examples. Okay, and we'll drag in this one. So this is going to be Chelsea. Already she'll be a little bit processed because of the way I have my Adobe Audition multi-track template set up. Let's move the rest of that stuff out of the way, switch snapping off, and play back.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Okay, so that's just a plain dry-only jingle. Now, you'll see if I take this and bounce it down with some of my effects already, bounce selected clips in time selection, you'll see how my vocal processing makes a difference. And usually that's the kind of cut that I would send out. I might go in and add some silences to the start and end, and maybe some nice envelope fades like that. You see, to just tidy it up. And I'd probably actually chop off the end and the beginning like this. And that's fine. Yep. Oh, maybe that's a little bit too tight. Hang on. Let's bring it in like that, like this. But of course, you can go much further. I know a lot of people like audio that is just going to slice through any records or any music that they're playing on the air. And let's mute this off. One thing I have started a new love affair with recently are the Waves audio plugins. You probably heard me raving about them on the show last week. Well, I've started introducing some of them into my chain, particularly one I used to use all the time, and I know many other imaging producers use. It's the Waves L3, the L3 Ultra Maximizer. It's a really good one. Let me show you how it works. There's also the Multi Maximizer as well, but I think you need to buy that separately. I'm sorry, this weekend I had a bit of a Waves frenzy. They had their sale on, and I thought, it's now or never. Let's add to the plugin lineup. So, but this one is really good because essentially you can make audio sound really good just with one control here, and that is threshold. The rest of the compression kind of happens under the hood. It's kind of Waves magic, and it might be best to show you this in the plain waveform view, because then we can do a preview comparison. So let's switch off spectral frequency display, show you the waveform, go into this. This is the preview window, and now if I go in here and say, give me some Waves L3, Waves L3 Ultra Maximizer, and bring that down. Now, to find the threshold, what I could do first and foremost is start
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Okay, so we're looking around there. So drag that threshold down to about, let's go for -9 to start with.
Talking Tech.
Wow, and that really, and this is, the out ceiling is kind of almost like hard limiting. So -3, like that, and yeah, it's kind of shaving it like a barber there, shaving it at the edges. Let's go down -10, see what that does. Again, you see, pushing it right out. Let's go down even further. I think we could get away with -12 even here with Chelsea.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Real nice imaging sound. Switch it off and...
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim
on
Hot 91.9.
Probably going to need some EQ as well, so we obviously EQ that first, but you can see how that would work. So yeah, with a voice-only production, dry in other words, we'd take the audio, we'd add some kind of hard limiting compression to it, and definitely some EQ to perk up the voice artist as well. Not that they need perking up, but you know, it's nice to get a consistent sound. And one thing I recognize all the time working with hundreds of voice artists every day is they don't all have the same settings. Yes, many of them do use Neumann TLM 103s, but some of them have them plugged into a DBX286S like I do. Others just put them raw straight into a Sapphire 2i2, Scarlett 2i2, sorry, Focusrite Focusrite 2i2. Yes, getting muddled up there. From Focusrite, which is nice, and then you just get the raw stuff. There are many ways that voice artists will send stuff out, and we try to like process our voices so that anything from any voice artist sounds pretty decent. So that is one way you can process vocal stuff, but there's lots of other ways you can do it. In fact, one of the greatest ways I discovered recently is kind of leveling out your audio here. And I think I might have demoed this last week, but I thought it was such an intelligent piece of plugin, Vocal Rider, which sounds like a lovely name for a plugin. By the way, I don't get any kickback for promoting Waves plugins, but I do get a small amount to spend on further plugins if you use my affiliate link, which gives you 10% off Waves plugins at mrc.fm/waves. So mrc.fm/waves will give you 10% off any plugin you get, and I think it gives me 10% as well that I can then go and use on other plugins like this one. The Vocal Rider is really good, and what it does, it's like a fader for voiceover. So if I say I want a loud vocal here, you see how it's leveling out. I think I found a really good preset. What was it? Rocky Ride. Let's try that. So what we got here going on in the preview window below is that the audio looks like it's being compressed there, but in fact it's not. It's just a digital algorithm writing a fader. Watch how it works. Let's go on Zoom here, and I'll show you. This is something I would consider using certainly before I added further effects to a voiceover.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
So it's writing that fader to further even things out. So many ways you can do this kind of stuff. Obviously, a little bit of parametric EQ always goes down a treat, so filter and EQ, parametric equalizer to find your favorite areas here to produce that voice-only dry. Another plugin I'm a fan of is the Neutron suite from Isotope. Really good graphical interfaces for EQing voices. If you just want to do EQing, switch off everything else, or in fact, get out of the Neutron main window here and head for something like the Neutron equalizer here. Will give you just what you need. And again, I think this is a wonderful EQ, real-time EQ as well.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot.
So usually rolling off bass.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
And then I think, yes, over here, this is the coolest thing that I like about the Neutron EQ, is that you can actually learn the profile of your voice here. Intelligently searches for a natural place in frequency spectrum to set your EQ nodes. Wow. Watch how this works.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Okay, you see there the EQ bands were all jumping around. So iZotope were literally learning the best frequencies to play with. And now I should be able to just notch those up and...
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Let's bring that down. I think we've got too much of the high-pass filter. Let's play again.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
And bring this out a little bit. Widen it up.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
That's sounding really good. And then, of course, we can notch these frequencies up if we want.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
And let's just give it a roll without the EQ again.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
So as you can hear, making a subtle but nice difference. And you don't need to go putting loads of EQ on. Just subtle notches like that will really work very, very well indeed. Okay, we're 16 minutes into the show. Really exciting to be here as always, and lovely to mention the comments that you've got coming in on the live chat. So a big hello to Ian Anderson Gray, who's watching right now. Hello, Ian. Nice to see you there. And he says, enjoy Manchester. I certainly will. Yes, I'm heading off to Manchester this Thursday. So therefore, my last show this week will be on Wednesday. And I'll be spending a few days up there and the weekend. So yeah, Manchester, a bit of a party city here in the UK. Paul Rustling, had a few of those through my hands, priced from £20 to £125 or so. Never had a complaint from a customer. There we go. That's good stuff. Philip Gregson, or is that Georgeson? Sorry, Philip Georgeson. Is there a way to get all your templates, Mike? Awesome content. Thank you. There is indeed. All the templates or presets that I use to produce audio, they're available to purchase on the website. And the short link to go there is mrc.fm/presets. And I really appreciate that. Every purchase of those templates really helps to support this show and keep it going every single day. Let's have a look what we've got over on the facebook.com/Music Radio Creative page. David O'Steele reckons the Neumann needs a pop filter. Yeah, I don't want to ruin that precious engineered element there from Berlin, Germany. Our true Valentino Voiceovers is watching in Barbados. Nice to see you there. Hey, Darren Altman's there. Oi, oi. Just listening while having my lunch. Back into the booth now, mate. Showbiz hugs. Hey, thank you, Darren, who is an awesome voice artist. You can look him up on the MRC website or just look up Darren Altman. He's done many amazing things. Google or YouTube his name. And Darren, I'm curious, what microphone have you got? Have you got the legendary TLM 103? I am digging it so far. I think it's an awesome microphone, but thinking of getting a pop filter. Do you have a pop filter, Darren? Who else uses a pop filter? Are pop filters good or bad? Let me know. Michael Maranio, did I say your name right? Amazing. A donation of $5 to the show. Really appreciate that. He's done that via Super Chat on youtube.com/Music Radio Creative. Wow, thank you. And a big cheer to you. Casimum, Mike, what's the best microphone recorder, Mike? I want a preset of Pressman. Oh, Darren's got the U87. Wow. Now, I'm impressed by that. Very impressed. Joe says, thank you very much to Michael there. Really kind. And Michael says, aloha. But I think Nightbot wasn't too impressed with the capital letters there. I have a question. Is there a way to get rid of breaths? I'm editing some phone messages and the person's nasal breathing is quite loud. Michael, I'll cover that in just a moment for you. Let me just write that down, because just before I get into the next section, I'll let you know an easy way of getting rid of breaths. Yes, the U87 pop filters are a must. Right. Thank you, Dazza. I'm going to grab this. Still got it here. But let's just put it in front of the TLM 103 like that. Hello. Yeah, it doesn't really make doesn't make a difference really to the audio quality if I do that. I can't notice a difference, but I am stopping my spittle from hitting the element. And I don't want to be too graphic with you, but at the end of the week, after doing these live streams, I'm about that far away from my monitor. My monitor always needs a good wipe at the end of the week with a sensitive electronic cloth, of course. So yes, unfortunately, it's just one of those natural things that seems to happen a lot. What else have we got? Got any more of those awesome jingles to play us, Mike? Oh, yes. If you want to call the show and get live on the air with me, we do have a call-in number.
415-800-1055.
Call now. Add +1 if you're outside the United States.
MusicRadioCreative.com.
And remember, your usual operator charges apply, particularly if you're calling the United States number from outside the US. You may well be charged at international rates. I do have some other jingles, actually, and I'm going through the process of mastering them all up. By the way, I found a really cool website for mastering audio, and I might share it with you in the coming week in one of my recorded demos. Yes, we've got the MRC Hermes jingle that we sell. We named them, by the way, the thinking about the newest package of jingles we got. MRC Gaia, MRC Athena, Easy Media. Thank you for the awesome donation. There you go. Woo. I think we're getting some strange feedback today. Not sure what that's all about. I have to look into that after the show. But yeah, we named them after Greek gods. And just when I think about MRC Hermes, I always think of the delivery service. You know, the courier in the UK. Bringing your package to your front door. So this is the Music Radio Creative Hermes jingle. And yeah, you can take the boy out of radio.
Monday to Friday, live. This is Mike Russell from MusicRadioCreative.com.
So yeah, at the moment I'm just playing them off my hard disk, but I definitely need to get it sorted so that I have those all on my my iJingle on my iPad. Thanks, Darren. Really appreciate the kind comments there on me jocking up the jingles. 95.8, indeed, my favourite radio station, Capital FM London, which was. Yeah, back to 1990. I'm right back in 1995. Of course, I take much of the awesome talking up jingles and 5 jingles back to back, awesome style from Pat Sharp, who was just amazing on Capital back in the 90s. Just amazing. Chris Kane, mic technique, pop filter to present plosives, spit protector only. Yes. I think you nailed it, Chris. That's right. Yes, technique will stop it popping, but absolutely having the pop filter really protects everything, which is great. Right. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Mastering. I need a track, and the WAV file does not have ISP, but if I mix MP3, there are ISP. Interesting. What other stuff have we got here in the chat? Let's have a quick look here. Hassan in Norway's in. Paul Orr, we were away at the beach for a week. Missed you. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the beach though, Paul. I've just used a great plugin for mastering DJ jingles on sale for $29 at the moment. Saved me loads of time. Infected Mushroom Pusher. I've seen that on the Waves Audio website, and I have to say, the interface looks really pretty. But if you recommend it there, Paul, for mastering, I'm going to check that out. That sounds interesting. What else have we got? If you use the link, when I get 10% off Waves, which you can do at mrc.fm/waves, is that off the sale price or normally priced items? I've never purchased a Waves plugin before. Can you suggest which I should get with a $200 budget? Well, Paul, you have just missed, unfortunately. Let's go to their website. They had a fantastic sale on all last week and over the weekend. This is the Waves website where they were giving away their Platinum package. That's the one I snagged for $199. It's usually $1,999. And let's try and find the bundles here. And I think they've pushed it up now to about $449. There it is, yeah, $449, which is still not bad for what you're getting, 50 of their best plugins. But yeah, I mean, it will give you that 10%. It will give you 10% off the sale price. So yes, it will work. It'll be really good. ePrimify. Is Mike the type of person to always buy microphones? Because I am. People always say, OMG, Eric, you have like 500 microphones. Do you know what? I have to give credit to Isabella. Isabella was the one who said, Mike, you need to get a better microphone in your studio. Go and get that Neumann TLM 103 you keep talking about. So thank you, Isabella. I'm grateful, as you know, for many things that you do, but fantastic to have this sitting in front of my face right now. Anything else, Mike and the mic? Yes, indeed. What else? Loads and loads of chats. I use the Rode Broadcaster mic, EO Finn. Davil says hi as well. Diego Peters is in there. William Harper. Apologies if I don't mention all the comments. Peter Dirks, Michael J. using the RE320, and it's naked. Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm swinging towards pop filter back. And I will do. I don't want to ruin my mic. Tarek Torlo's in as well. Again, apologies if I don't mention everyone. The chat does spin by really, really fast. But Paul, you're absolutely right. The mic does sound incredible, doesn't it? So let's crack on. And yeah, David Silk says stream is pausing a little bit, but not the audio. Don't think that's my internet. I think I need to have a mess about with either OBS or my streaming. Yes, absolutely. I got wife approval, Michael Duffy, to get the microphone, which is absolutely a very needed authorization. So let's get back into what we're doing here with the audio. So as you see, we've done some stuff with EQing and the vocal compression, but now I want to do some voice and sound effects. Now with voice and sound effects, I would pop in something here. Oh, and I did have a good question, by the way. Who was it that asked me earlier on about debriefing? Debriefing. Michael Duffy asked me about getting rid of breaths from audio. Now, I think this is fantastic. Let me go over and have a look and see if I can find Chelsea's audio here. Is there a place where she's taking lots of breaths?
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
All right, let's just take that small example. And, I mean, there are many ways you can do this. So if I wanted to de-breath, again, this is for creating a voice-only jingle. First and foremost, as you can see, there's two breaths here, one there and one there. What I might do is just go up and set up a noise gate in Dynamics Processing, which I see it already looks like that. But if you want to find it, it's the effects menu, amplitude and compression. Let's grab that, amplitude and compression, dynamics processing, and then there's a preset you can go to, and it is noise gate at 20 dB. And then if I bring up the preview window, you'll see those breaths have kind of disappeared there, and I just need to slide this over ever so slightly. Spectral frequency will help to show you if there's audio where the breaths are. So we can see here, there is a breath, and here there is a breath, and we're kind of eliminating it with a noise gate. So anything above a certain threshold will get through that gate.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot.
I can still hear the first breath kind of getting through, so I might need to move that over a bit. Set the gate a little more aggressively. Still there, ever so slightly. So you see with a noise gate you can either reduce or totally remove breaths. Let's do this even further.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
So as you can hear, that's working. That's removing both breaths. And if you had a longer piece, it would remove all the breaths. But you can also hear it slightly clipping the starts of words. So setting up a noise gate is a fine art. And what you might want to do is kind of compress it first, so you get the audio really fat, and then you can kind of attack those. But another way, this is another plugin that I got hold of over the weekend, the big summer sale from Waves Audio. Let's see if this works, because it worked like a dream for me over the weekend when I was testing it. I'm going to be using this one a lot, Waves, and it's called Waves, not de-esser, de-breath. Now, it's a mono-only plugin, so I think what I'm going to do is just grab that and convert the sample type to be mono, like so. There we go, there's some mono audio, and as you can see, breath here, there's a breath and a breath here. And let's see if this plugin will sort that out for me. So into audio units, waves, and de-breath. Here we go. Looks like already in the preview window. Oh, looks like it's got rid of one breath but not the other.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
So what I might need to do is just set it.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
It hasn't discovered the other breath. Let's bring the threshold down a bit.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot.
Bit more.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot.
A bit more.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot. The Pilgrim Mix on Hot.
We'll have to go right down with this.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9. The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9. The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
Let's try again.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
It really does not want to get rid of that second breath.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
It might be that that breath is just ever so slightly too quiet. Let's turn it up a little bit, just so it can pick it up for this example. And let's try again. Okay, let's hear the whole stuff.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
No, that is a problem breath.
The Pilgrim Mix on Hot 91.9.
Well, usually it's very good. That's the first time I have seen it not working quite correctly, but what it's supposed to do is roll through and find all the breaths out and quickly add a noise reduction or noise gate to the audio. As you can see, it did pick up the first breath, but just not that second breath. You can also say monitor only the breaths, and you get only the breaths. So yeah, you might want to look into that, Waves deep breath. I had some great success with it over the weekend, but when I picked out this random sample, it didn't quite work on that second breath there. Not sure why. Might be because I didn't set up the settings or the thresholds exactly correctly. But yeah, a few ways you can do it. Anthony says, why not use either noise reduction or silence on the specific area? I wouldn't go so far as using noise reduction because that might decrease the quality of the audio, but certainly just, manually going along, selecting the breaths, and then it's, let's go to edit, insert silence, and then, you can do that, and boom, the breath is gone. So that's another way, a manual way of doing it. If the breath is just before the speaking, can't you just delete it? I mean, you could do that. You could either silence is better because then you keep the same sort of pace, but you can delete, of course, or you can just go here and pull the volume knob down a bit and reduce the breath if you want to have that kind of natural breathy effect. Say if you've done loads of compression and the breaths are really loud and they're like that, you can kind of just go and maybe lower the volume a little bit. Renato, when you record your voice, microphone connected to mixer, do you record flat without EQ, or do you add EQ? And do you do more in Adobe Audition? Well, actually, when I'm going into my mixer, I do enhancement on the DBX286S. I also have some dials twiddled on the Soundcraft mixing desk to add EQ. And then, yes, finally, I might even add a little more EQ when I'm over in Adobe Audition. So there we go. Right, let's get back to adding some more effects. So the next thing, once we've got the voice process, so we've got all of our Music Radio Creative presets, plus I'm adding in the L3 Ultra Maximizer here, I might go in and add in some sound effects. So let's go in. So this is the second way, voice and sound effects included. So sound effects with tails. Here we go. Bring this in.
Talking.
And we'll just level out the audio here a little bit. Match clip loudness.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot.
And we'll need maybe one more effect here. Let's see, another effect, micro effect. That'll be cool. And we'll pop this in here. Actually, let's split that into two, seeing as it could work quite well.
Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
There we go. So that's what we'd call a S jingle. So sound effects only, dry voice and sound effects.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
And I'm just going to check how the L3 is set up and maybe pull the threshold down on it.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Sounding really good. Notice the difference that makes.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Really nice and compressed. We also occasionally will go in and add in a second voice here. So let's have a listen to this second voice here.
Not the 6 o'clock news. Not the 6 o'clock news on Hot 91.9.
Let's take Duke there saying Hot 91.9 and pop this in here.
91.9. 91.9.
So I could mix together a second vocal in here. Let's just get the 91.9 with Duke's voice on. So this is often a common request. When we do imaging packages, more often than not, most clients opt for the male and female mix, which I think sounds really good.
91.9.
Let's bring that out a bit.
91.9.
No, actually, we're going to time stretch Chelsea a little bit and bring her in.
91.9. 91.9.
And Duke just goes on a little bit too far with that 9. So let's bring that in a little bit and play it.
91.9. 91.9. 91.9.
Sounding really good. Now, over on my voice effects channel, I do have a studio reverb added, but just recently I have fallen in love with H Reverb from Waves. This is really cool. And you can get some really good sounds on your imaging using H Reverb. But obviously when you have a little bit of dry, not all wet, so turn it down to dry.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Really, really smooth. I actually had a mess about. Let's just disable that for a moment. So reverb is kind of a polishing touch there. If we go into Waves, I only grabbed one of them because I wanted to test them out. The Abbey Road plates, which is like it's basically modelled the plates that they have in Abbey Road Studios, where they recorded have recorded all kinds of famous artists. So real cool plates. A lot of the reverberation you'd hear from Abbey Road Studios, you get in the songs from the 60s and 70s. And I thought that's really cool, so I thought I'd give it a go. And let's just obviously we want to try and get some dry in there as well. So let's see. Dry. Let's have a look. I've got all kinds of other stuff here. I think moving the damper. Now, where are we here? Dry, wet. There we go. Let's turn that down a bit.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Now, I have to say, as a vocal reverb, I didn't really find the Abbey Road plates to be to my taste. I couldn't get a sound out of them that I liked for voiceover. But I thought I'd show this to you just because I think the interface looks really cool. But yeah, you've got different plates. So in Abbey Road Studios, they appear to have 4 different plates labeled A, B, C, and D. And you can kind of twizzle this dial round.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
I mean, that's a bit of a tighter and nicer reverb, but I actually quite like that one. Let's try plate C. Let's switch it over to C.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Even more subtle. And actually, do you know what? I'm kind of warming up to the Abbey Road plates, but I felt that maybe it was more geared towards you if you're doing music productions and stuff like that. But yeah, let's give it a go. Let's leave that in instead of the H Reverb for the time being. So next we want vocal effects added into the mix. So we can go ahead and add some vocal effects here. This is the third style. So we've done voice only, dry. We've done voice and sound effects. So that's the dry voice with sound effects merged in. Then we have the third way, which is adding in vocal effects and sound effects. And of course you can mix and match these. So you can say, well, I don't want the sound effects, but I just want the vocal effects. So you can do that kind of thing. So for instance here, I could separate out all of these different bits here, and I'm going to move this down to chorus. I'm going to move this one down to flanger, and I'm going to leave those as is. So immediately using my Adobe Audition template, you'll get the chorus effect and the flanger effect.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
Which is kind of interesting.
Talking Tech.
And again, I'm going to have a mess about with some different effects here. Isotope Vocal Synth always gives me a giggle when I want to add vocal effects. In fact, there was a time when I was using this all the time on Music Radio Creative Orders, and I got told by Isabella, the boss lady, to stop using it so much because people didn't believe that a voice artist had recorded their audio. They thought we'd used a robot, and I'll show you why. Turn up the CompuVox. Talking Tech, which... Now, unless someone specifically asks for a vocal effect like that, yeah, absolutely. You can see why it could be misconstrued that you're actually using some text-to-speech. So you've got TalkBox, you can do vocoding as well, which is kind of cool. And you can bring in the dry and have the vocoder and polyvox in the background.
Talking Tech.
And switch off the delay maybe.
Talking Tech.
All kinds of stuff. I kind of like the CompuVox the best, so let's leave that in.
Talking Tech.
So that kind of beefs up Chelsea's voice a little bit there. And actually, I might go in and use a free plugin. If you want to get the Melder production plugins, they have a brilliant package called M3 Effects. All of these plugins you can grab for free, and they've got some pretty good ones in there. mrc.fm/M3Effects. That's mrc.fm/M3Effects. We'll get you all of these, including a beautiful ring modulator. I'm just going to add that on as a vocal effect. Let's pick out a preset. I quite like Badland Omni. That's one of my favorites.
Talking Tech. Talking Tech.
Let's try something else.
Talking Tech.
Aha, let's try this.
Talking Tech.
That's nice.
Talking Tech.
So that's with the ring modulator, without.
Talking Tech.
There we go. So sounding good so far. We got all of that hooked in, and then we'll go over to this side here. And with the vocal flanger, I really have started using quite a bit now, since I purchased it, Metaflanger, which is pretty cool.
With Mark Pilgrim on.
So that's a nice kind of, there's plenty of really cool
With Mark Pilgrim.
flanging effects we can get, slow rotor.
With Mark Pilgrim.
So nice stereo effects that we can put on stereo.
With Mark Pilgrim.
I mean, that sounds nice, doesn't it? So let's pop that through. And what I'm thinking actually is I've got the L3 Ultra Maximizer on just one channel here. What I might do is switch that off and put it on the master voice effects bus so everything gets processed equally. Let's find our L3 here and bring that down to around 8.2 where we had it before. And then bring everything back in.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
That's sounding good. Let's bring it back again.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
And I think that's a little bit harsh, that 91.9 at the end. Let's bring it.
Hot
91.9.
Yeah, just give it a little space to breathe there.
on Hot
91.9.
Okay, so not too bad. We've gone through doing voice only. We've gone through doing voice with sound effects, vocal effects and sound effects, or just vocal effects only. Take the sound effects out of the mix, and you get a vocal effects radio jingle.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
And obviously the next step would be to do the VSM style jingle, which is vocal effects, sound effects, and music. So this is where I would go and find a music track. Let's have a look here in the library for some music beds and go for Ibiza Deep House. And let's bring this in and see how it's going to sound. We might need to just bring the volume of the sound effects down a bit in the mix.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
Okay, not really fitting with the flow of the music, so I'm going to try and paste this out now. And let's just do a little stuttering effect. So let's see, half of this is going to be around 274. So 274 there, and pop it there like that. And then we're going to, let's try that.
Talking Tech.
Let's try that.
Talking Tech.
Actually, let's try it instead like this.
Talking Tech.
And I'm just going to do that kind of riser sound effect, getting more and more as we kind of go into the jingle.
Talking Tech. Talking Tech. Mark.
Let's just move this out a bit.
Talking Tech.
And I kind of want an echo on tech.
Tech.
So let's bring tech down to the voice echo.
Tech. Talking Tech.
And we want to look at, we're looking at 509. 509 divided by 2 is, 254. Okay, so again, instead of the native echo, let's go for a little bit of creativity from H delay here. And now the coolest thing is we can set a BPM here. So I think 120 is going to be almost right. Let's try and take that down a little bit though. For some reason it's not updating as fast as I would like it to. Gone up to 126. Aha. Had it there. Yep, there we go. Let's do 121 like that.
Tech.
Now you hear how H delay just makes it flutter away into the background. Let's have a listen to this.
Talking tech.
I think we're overloading the processor there a little bit. Let's try it again one more time.
Talking tech with Mark.
And a lot of confusion there going on in the background, but I think we're kind of just going to move that out of the way for the moment.
Talking tech.
Let's just mix down the entire session to make sure that little stumble isn't in the final mix. Give it a moment, and while it mixes down, it's a good idea to get back to your comments that are going on in the community. So what have we had since the last chat? Oh yes, now is a very good time to say to you, if you are interested in calling in and getting on the show with me,
415-800-1055.
that's the number to call, 415-800-1055, add +1 if you're outside the US, and remember, call rates to the United States do apply, so be sure to check how much you'll get billed before you go ahead and give a call to that number. Otro says, I use the Rode broadcast mic too. It's been more than 10 years and it works like new. Joseph Rice says, great to the Neumann TLM 103 that I got here in the studio right now. What else have we got? Juan says, hola, saludos desde Colombia. Are you watching in Colombia? That's awesome. Great to have you here and watching the show. Do please let more people know about this show. Send them to youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Always love to get a subscribe there. Doing 2 more shows this week. One on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. And then I'm off for a week and a half. The weekend I'm up in Manchester. And then on Tuesday I'm having 2 wisdom teeth removed. And I'll be back smiling on Monday the 18th of September. So make sure you get that into your diary. ePrimify. I have a pop filter for my SM7B but barely use it. Little less high end when you put the pop filter on. Interesting. What else have we got here? Mike, mastering. I mastered a track. Oh, I think we've already done that one about mastering. And I've already read a lot of these. Audio Technica AT4033 is indeed what I used to use. When you record your voice, oh yeah, I've already covered that. I'm going over old stuff here. I haven't got my TLM 103 in the mail. Did you forget to send it, says Anthony. That's a good question. Thanks, Joe, for moderating in there with lots of great comments in the chat. Joe Salmi there. We've got David Hunter as well, talking about dry and wet. We probably don't want to know what many of those skills are. Yes, I know. It sounds rather bizarre, doesn't it? Thanks for Joe for posting the link to the wonderful Melda production free plugins. My Melda plugins on macOS Sierra do not work properly. Invalid character to be converted to a number is the error. Oh, that's strange. They work perfectly for me on my Mac, which is Mac OS Sierra, so not quite sure what could be going on there. Paul says, if you were to do a boot camp, I will be there. It would be cool to meet everyone, and I use a Pop and a Rode broadcaster microphone. Good luck in surgery, says ePrimify. Yes, thank you. It's one of those things that kind of has to be done, so we're getting there. Now, for some reason, it's taking ages to mix down, and I've got a feeling that's because I've got a very long music bed in there. So let's just crack on with this, and maybe we'll go for some Adobe Audition Echo in here on the 509 and 255 mark.
Talking Tech.
So we can do something like that, and then we're going to have this around here, I think. So let's bring this out a little bit.
Talking Tech with Mark.
And let's move that in a bit more.
Tech with Mark Pilgrim.
And let's check how this bed is progressing. So around there, I want to do a cut, and oh yes, that's why it was taking ages to download. I left the rest of Chelsea's session in there. Right, and then we've got this. So I think here I'm going to pop in a crash sound effect or Ibiza effects. That's quite nice. Let's go back to the library and go to my imaging sound effects, and we'll grab something rather nice here. What have we got? Nice impact. Slam. Slam. Some real slams there, aren't they? Let's bring it all back into the mix.
9.
So what have we got now?
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
Let's bring that back there.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
So now we got VSM, voice, sound effects, and music.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
Which sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Especially with the impact at the end, nice and bassy. Then we could go for the, so what have we done? We've done voice only, voice and sound effects, voice, sound effects, and music, vocal effects only, that's 4 types. Music only would be the 5th way to produce a jingle, so I would just remove these sound effects here and see how this sounds.
Talking Tech.
And obviously we want to get rid of the vocal effects as well, if it's just going to be a music only. So let's go here, remove the echo there, remove the flanger, and that's all looking good. And I'd probably mute out that stutter here, so we've got a kind of music-only sound. Let's move that out and have a little listen to this.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
And we obviously need a nice natural ending to that bed.
on Hot
91.9.
And maybe it'll be there.
91.9.
So the way to end that nicely would be to take that, break that out into a brand new track, and let's bring that down there, and we'll add on maybe some of the Abbey Road reverb. Let's do that. Abbey Road plates. Let's go for, I think I like plate C.
91.9.
Although I'm not sure how nice that's going to be on
Hot
91.9.
There you go. So adding a little bit of reverb like this kind of gives it a nice ending. The wet is all the way up at the top. Let's change the dampener up a bit. There we go. We've got that nice damp reflective sound you can see going on there. Turn the treble up as well. Sounding good. And if we want, we can keep it intact like that. Copy here. So then we've got the original. I might just put a fade out envelope on this. Zooming in there, fade that out. Oh, that could also probably do with a fade out envelope too. Zoom out and play from the start.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
And you can hear there, even though the music didn't end at that point, doing a bit of reverb creates a kind of fake ending to the song. Let's just solo the music and listen to it. And we could probably do with turning the reverb down because it's a little too impactful. Always try and end your music on beat 1. It sounds the most natural. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There we go, perfect. So that's your kind of music-only option. And then finally, the sixth way and the final way that I'm going to show you in here, just before I get back to some of your comments. So post your comments there over in the chat at youtube.com/musicradiocreative or facebook.com/musicradiocreative. I will get to them before the end of the show. But yeah, BPM is something we get asked to do all the time, particularly for DJs. So we're kind of working to 121 BPM here, as I just checked out on that audio earlier. So we got something like this.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
And again, maybe not too many vocal effects on this, but certainly a kind of...
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot 91.9.
And what I might do is, say, move this over from left over to right, like that. So let's do that. And let's move this from right over to left, like that.
91.9.
So Chelsea and Duke cross over each other. If you're listening in stereo, that should sound wonderful to you. And let's move that so that we hit the echo plate. Where is that? Where's the echo plate there?
On Hot
91.9.
So that's a kind of basic BPM jingle.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
And if I wanted to really make this match, I can see that that's slightly offbeat there. That's my reference track there, so I'd move that over like that. Let's see how that sounds.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot
91.9.
There we go. And obviously, if you have radio station call letters or frequencies, you can kind of put them all on the beat. So, you know, W, N, B, C, all at 121 BPM or whatever the BPM is you're working to or that you need. So there you go. 6 different ways to produce a radio jingle. Voice only, voice and sound effects, voice sound effects music, vocal effects only, music only, and the legendary BPM jingle. And again, that's where you can really go nuts with your echo. I mean, I use the native Adobe Audition Echo there, but also a really good one from Waves is the H delay that I've started getting really hot on again recently. 121 BPM there, and let's still trying to figure out how they all work. Like, why is that not updating? But anyway, let's leave it there and play with this.
Talking Tech with Mark Pilgrim on Hot.
I like the way that works, and plenty of really cool effects for the echo. Let's have a listen to how this works. So that's just a very small or lo-fi slap over here.
Tech.
So all kinds of different stuff you can do. Rotary speakers.
Tech.
Really, really cool stuff. Springy drums. Let's bring that in.
Tech.
91.9.
So lots of fun that you can have with that. Let's take a look at what you have been saying over there in the chat just before we wrap it up and call it a day here for Monday's session. 6 different ways to produce a radio jingle. Can I have setup of Abbey Road Reverb? Godema Music? Yeah, absolutely. It's a plugin that you can buy from the Waves audio site. And if you'd like to get 10% off the plugin, just go to mrc.fm/waves to get a 10% discount coupon that you can use on any Waves audio plugins, including stuff that is on sale. What else have we got here? That's actually a really good tip, says ePrimify. Well, thank you very much. I shoved the M3FX bundle link into the list of short URLs for you. That's David talking about the short URL to go and grab some free plugins. mrc.fm/m3fx. That's where you need to go. Are you going to put that dry number jingle and possibly a couple of others up on the community? You could get some free jingles out of it. That's an interesting thought. Always love putting stuff for free in the community. If, by the way, you have not joined the Music Radio Creative community, now is the time to get in and start posting there. Community.musicradiocreative.com is the place to go. And, I can see my buddy Will has joined up. He's just recently joined. Will Darling, excellent EDM producer. He comes highly recommended from me, and he has a YouTube channel called EDM Tips. Just type EDM Tips and look up Will Darling. I see he's joined in with the community as well. So, yeah, he's done some really, really cool videos recently. So Will's in there. You can see recent posts from Joe talking about the Waves audio offers. Also, we're getting more support on doing a show eventually. My live settings on OBS Studio for doing live streaming. Michael Duffy there, Cyber Larson, has been posting about Adobe Audition keyboard shortcuts and plugins. I've posted some free radio imaging sound effects. David Hunter has been particularly busy as well. David, it's fantastic to have you as part of the community. We've got Juan in there, so many others all chatting away. That's kind of the place where we all chat after this show ends. So head over to community.musicradiocreative.com. Shamir wants to know if I'm still using the Focusrite 2i2. Yeah, it's there in the chain, and I use it occasionally, but not as much as I used to. Now I have a Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK. That is it from me. I'll talk to you into the community, and I'll be back tomorrow from 2 p.m. UK time for another live stream.